I want you to think of a healthy church like you would a three-leg stool. One leg is the pastor, one leg are the volunteers, and one leg are the leaders. This is Dave Jacobs of Small Church Pastor. You're listening to episode 48 of Minipod with me. No fluff, just good stuff in under 5 minutes. The smaller the church, the less the pastor needs leaders and the more they need helpers or volunteers. Now, let there be no mistake about it. Leaders almost always come out of your base of volunteers. You probably started out as a volunteer and gradually became a leader. And now look at you, lucky you, you're a pastor. You didn't start out as a leader. Someone had a job to be done in the church and you said, "Put me in, coach." And the coach gave you a chance even though you weren't very experienced. When you started out, you were not as good at things as you are now. We need to give our potential leaders the same opportunity that we had. You know, some pastors set the bar so high that even they couldn't have jumped over it when they began to serve. Here are some common requirements for leaders that I've heard pastors insist on before letting someone be a leader. Here they go. You've got to be a member of the church. You have to have been attending the church for a year. You must regularly be in church on Sunday. You must agree to each point of the church's articles of faith. You must tithe. You must have your house in order, whatever that means. You must have a consistent devotional life, whatever that means. And you must have served faithfully as a volunteer. You must demonstrate a holy lifestyle, whatever that means. And if your church is complementarian, the wife must be in submission to the husband. We must not forget that. Now, I'm not suggesting that any of these requirements are bad, even though I would disagree with a few of them, and I'm not about to tell you which one I disagree with. But remember, the higher the bar, the fewer people you'll have to be leaders. Should we expect more from a leader than we do a simple volunteer? Well, yes. Should we expect more from a volunteer than we do that person that shows up once a month, listens to your sermon, drinks your coffee, and if you're lucky, drops $2 in the offering? Well, yes. You can have as many requirements for a leader as you want. You just got to remember, the longer the list, the fewer number of leaders you're going to have. And here's another thing. The longer your list, the greater chance there is that you have leaders in your church that are not living up to the requirements you have. Now, what do we do about that? You see, I have a rule that says set the bar so low that people can't help but step over it. I guess you could make it too easy for someone to be a leader or too hard. Both carry with them a risk. Don't throw out the bar, but be willing to reconsider if it's too high. Hey, if you haven't been over to my website, that's smallchurchpastor.com. I got all kinds of great stuff there. If you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss another Minipod. Have a great week.